All right. Just making sure everything is working okay. Gonna check and see that my feed is live. Hope everyone is having a terrific Sunday. I guess is the Super Bowl this Sunday, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? Terrific Sunday. Okay, great. Yeah, it might be. It might be a really bad day to. I might have picked a bad time this week to do that, but who knows? I think a lot of other people are like me and don't really follow the sports world, so maybe more into serial killers. If so, you've picked the right channel. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ben, Tanya. Yeah, February. It just used to be. Oh my God, I'm so mixed up. It's November. I was up all night editing a video that should be out today. So I'm a little verklempt, but still locked in on this Keys stuff and working on some videos there too. But yeah, looking forward to finishing off this interrogation footage of Keys with the Rangers. It was really fun last week, so we will get right into that. But yeah, I'm working on a video about the Nixium cult. I've worked on some other stuff about that before, and it's always an interesting topic. It's just full of screwball characters. And do let me know if the audio is off on your end. I think it should be okay, but you never know. So let's get into it. Last week we ended like about 20 minutes towards the end of this particular session, and they were talking about all sorts of different stuff, sort of opening him up, and then they got him to talking about how he was himself following stuff on the news, the Anchorage Daily News and other news sources up in Anchorage about the killing of Samantha Koenig. And where we left off is that Keys had just admitted that he himself had commented on some of these stories. So let's give it a go. I'm actually going to back it up a little bit here. Okay.
Do you know how many?
That volume's a little low for me. Oh. Okay.
People in Anchorage wear ski masks this time of year?
I didn't tell you the Texas Rangers believe it.
I know, that's why I'm kind of disappointed Anchorage PD isn't here.
But how many people?
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that, Ben.
Texas in 80-degree weather have a cell phone that belongs to the victim, an ATM card that belongs to the victim's boyfriend, a ski mask in 80-degree weather.
Oh,
I
fascinating.
don't remember how it got there. Or how
Hi,
it got
Marissa.
back to
It's a
begin
pleasure to
with.
see you as always.
AAA large.
But then you don't know how that got in your car, but you only rented the car a few days before.
No, that is mine. It came out of my suitcase. And it's no surprise that it came out of my suitcase. I mean,
Do you have any tattoos?
no.
Any scars identified?
Yeah.
Like what?
I have brands.
Whereabouts?
I have them all over. One on each arm, one on each side of my
You
chest.
said brands.
Brands, yes.
Is that a geographical term, or is it like literally a burn
A
man?
brand. Like Texas cow.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I see? What-
IZ.
IZ for Izzy
Is.
is.
That's a smiley face.
Any more?
Yeah, I got, like I said, I got one on my back and two on my chest.
You ever seen that?
That's crazy. It reminds me of the Red Dragon.
Prepare this. This was.
I don't know if you guys have seen that follow-up to the Silence of the Lambs, but the guy has like weird tattoos all over his body. Yeah, I want to check this out. IZIT Discus. Wow, we should take a look at those after this video. Yeah, because that's like a really interesting part about him is that he was sort of like instead of mailing out like taunting letters to the newspapers like the Zodiac, he's commenting on ADN stories. I want to
This
check
was
this out.
sent
Take a look at
with
those in
the
a minute.
ransom note. But what I do notice on here, and I understand that these things. Yeah, okay, that's it. But if you notice on this photograph,
Thank you, Claire.
how the corners go to near 90 degrees, except for this one, which is just above whoever's holding this girl by the hair, wearing a glove. That part of the photograph is torn off. Guess what part of that would be?
Give a
It
brand.
would be about where your brand is. That part of the photograph was obscured for some reason or another. Isn't that odd?
I don't know, you tell me.
Well,
How many people have tattoos on their arms?
I don't know. How many people have tattoos on their arms that have her cell phone, her boyfriend's ATM card, clothing items similar, if not the same, as the abductor had? Oh, we forgot to talk about the
Yes.
girlfriend's card being
Very weird.
used in Alaska at an ATM with that card. You see how those stories, when you talk about, when I told you early on, somebody's going to tell your story for you, Israel. Somebody's going to tell it. It's best to tell your story yourself. Somebody else will do it without your help.
Yeah, we should. I'll talk. The whole Scientology thing is fascinating, and I did hear that Aaron is in jail. I haven't followed up on it just because I had so much other stuff on my plate. But yeah, if you guys want to let me know what the deal is there, it's hilarious. I've made a series of videos about this guy named Aaron Smith Levin, who emerged as like a major figure in the ex-Scientology community during the Danny Masterson trial. Danny Masterson was an actor on that 70s show who is now serving like 20 years to life in California prison for a series of rapes on other Scientologists in the 2000s. It's a very grisly story, and it was very much in the news in the Scientology world a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. And it's a really fascinating story because it gets to sort of the heart of what Scientology is all about. And in the video I was actually working on last night was about Nixium. So I'm sort of back in the cult world. That should be out today. I just have to film a pickup for it. I was just too tired to keep going last night, but I got some good sleep. So going to have that out today. And also, working on a couple other things. But this is I've got the comments all queued up on Israel's Discus profiles that we're going to check out after the end of this interview. So then I've got I think we're going to go back to the audio that Marissa initially suggested of Keys' girlfriend. So that's the plan.
Israel, this is about you.
It's about
No, this is become about you guys and the story you want to tell me.
I'm
You want to show me a bunch of crazy pictures, and for all I know, you cut the corner off, and you already know I have brands. You already asked me and took pictures of them all, and this could be a whole.
No, we didn't take pictures of it.
Well, somebody did, several.
Just fixed my audio, so hopefully that wasn't bleeding. It was coming through my speakers instead of my headphones.
I don't know. I'm just saying you could know that at this point.
Yeah, and it
I
caused
have,
me to be suspicious.
Israel, I have no dog in this one. This case is not a Texas case. We've been asked to assist. I have no reason to sit here. I'm just telling you, here's the things that I see that are adding up, and not one of them standing alone is anything. It's like a piece of plywood. It's not a piece of plywood until you put all the layers together and bond them. This thing's out of hand. I don't believe what you've told me. I don't think you do either.
I don't.
Israel, that picture, I've been told by Anchorage, was on the back of this note that contains the ATM card number that was in your back
They
pocket
showed
at the time of the traffic stop. That picture was on the back of this note, okay? There are other things in that car that need an explanation.
What's the date on this paper? Do you know?
I got it written down here somewhere.
I just,
So for anybody not familiar with this case, the picture they're referring to is the picture that Israel sent to Samantha Koenig for a ransom demand. And in the picture, she's actually dead, but Israel made her up to look like she was alive. And in the picture, you can see a part that's cut out, which would be where his forearm was, and his forearm has a tattoo. So that's what they're pressing on him on right now.
need to know that. Just curious. Do you know what the date is?
I think it was during the 2 days that
14th?
he disappeared from his girlfriend and his daughter. I think it was during
Shortly after the cruise.
those 2 days, yeah. The ransom note was found on the 24th of February. Now, he flew back to Anchorage on the 17th of February. And then the ransom note was found the 24th. We got a whole timeline.
Israel, sometimes things aren't what they appear. And things happen for different reasons than it appears they happen. But what I do know is that only one person, or maybe a couple of persons, actually know what happened. Remember when I told you I didn't have to come over here? I had my grandson with me. Something didn't make sense.
Well, it sounds like you got it all figured out, so I don't know why you're not going to talk to me.
I'm beginning to see more and more, and I'm wanting to see, and if you want to help yourself by telling me what happened, help me by telling me what happened, how we can see these things. Are we seeing something wrong, Israel? You know, I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer for almost 28 years. I don't
Totally agree,
travel with
Marissa.
this much arsenal.
Neither do I.
But on a plane, you're carrying a gun.
But I wasn't on the plane carrying a gun.
You weren't?
No,
How did the gun get here?
it was in my checked luggage.
Okay, but
Unless
you
you carry guns on.
I know, but I don't carry it in my luggage, Israel.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Come on, help me understand that.
Look, I flew down here with those guns last time. They were supposed to stay here last time, and I decided not to leave them with my mom because of reasons I don't want to get into.
When's the last time you were in Cleveland? You know where Cleveland, Texas is?
Yeah,
Where's that?
that's outside of Dallas.
You got any friends or family up there?
No,
You ever been there?
I just said yeah.
What do you go there for? If you don't have friends or family, why are you up there?
I'm not gonna get into that. I don't think. That was on my last visit. That was.
So did you bury an old dog that died, or did you bury something?
You want to know the God honest truth, what I was doing?
Yeah.
I really don't. Even
I know what your family thinks you were doing there.
What do they think? You know, I'm not even going to believe you. What do you know what my family thinks? You just said you don't even know me or them. So.
I haven't talked to them. I'm just going by what this
Exactly.
ranger tells me, what the FBI tells me. Did you tell your family you had to go bury some guns?
Yeah, well, I'm glad they told you.
So did I make it up?
No.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. So you went and buried guns in Cleveland?
No.
That was just an excuse to get out of the house?
No, I was actually going to, but I didn't find any good spots.
What guns were you going to bury?
Those.
Why would you bury a gun?
it's a good way to store them, to like go back to get them.
Give him a
Sounds
minute.
funny.
Give him a minute. I think you can do better on that.
Sounds funny, but it's true.
What denominations? I think in Humble, Texas, at 2:23 a.m. on the 12th of this month, you attempted to use the ATM card in Humble, Texas. It's just on the northeast side of Houston.
2:47 a.m. in Shepherd.
2:47 a.m. in
Yeah.
Shepherd, Texas. You successfully got $485.
I love their accent so much, Ben Tanya. Hopefully, I'm getting that name correctly.
Here to before.
No, it was the same one.
Was it the same one?
I don't know. I would have to look at the paper.
Okay, if
I'm not telling you you're wrong.
If I told you that card was used and you said you used the card, $485. What denomination, man?
480.
480.
480.
Because you see, 500 is the limit on an ATM card. And you said you probably used it a little, put it in too much the first time. So it probably came out in 20s?
Every ATM I've ever used, yeah.
What is that? What is that? Money? That was in your car.
Yeah, I already told you I'm not going to talk about that.
Right, don't talk about that.
The stranger.
You know, not many banks use dial packs anymore, so that'll be easy enough. Most securities, corporate securities don't allow it. It endangers the employees and customers if it went off too early.
And rarely do I run across money that's moldy. The mold is growing on the money. There was mold. There's mold on this money. It's just weird. Would you agree it's weird to have moldy, stinky money? When they talk about dirty money, I don't think that's what they're talking about, but that was dirty money. And the rubber bands around the money, to tell you the truth, when I first saw it, I thought it was drug related because these those little small rubber bands. But then I found the same kind of rubber bands. I guess it's your daughter's toiletry kit. She probably uses them in her hair, am I right? So it's probably not drug money. It's just like the rubber bands in your daughter's toiletry kit that was in your car. That's good, right? It's not related to drugs.
I already said I'm not going to talk about it.
And you don't have to. But those are just questions that are begging answers. Now,
And a police scanner and a drill.
with a drill bit, not a screwdriver bit, but a drill bit, a 1/4 inch drill bit. Can you tell me what the...
Wait, let's back up just a minute. Let me get caught up here.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just looking. Where's the Ziploc baggie with the phone in it?
Well, that's in the gun case.
You got a picture?
Yeah, right here.
Close up. The same kind of Ziploc baggie?
I don't have it with me, but
The same kind of Ziploc bag?
I think it's a smaller Ziploc bag here.
Israel, I think you want to tell them what, or you the guy that walked out of here.
No, I'm enjoying you show me.
I'm just crawling through American Predator trying to find the part where he kind of goes into the weird fugue state while visiting his mom's house in Texas. Because I think that's what you're referring to, Merced, where it seems like he was doing some dirt when he was down there on that last trip.
Pictures of my own things. Very entertaining.
Let me ask you this. You talked about we call it an SD card. Is that what you're talking about? The little chip that's in the phone? You talked about this SD card and you made a comment that you put it into a DVD case that you had. Is it still there? Is that where you last saw
Why
it?
would it
Or
not?
did you?
I don't know. Why would it not be there?
I mean, well, unless somebody took it out. Does anybody else have
The
access?
only people who've been messing with my stuff is you guys.
All right, so I got a picture of the DVD case in there, LT.
Is this what was sent to you today?
Yes. Let me get a picture of that DVD case. Everybody has secrets. Maybe that's why you were in Cleveland. I don't know. But is it that DVD case here?
Yep.
What were the numbers on the back of this paper?
Oh, come on. You guys should have figured that out by now.
Well, I'm not the lead on it, okay? Well, what are the numbers? I mean, I can guess. What are the numbers? There were 3 numbers, and I photographed them. There were only 3, written in blue ink, and I photographed. I didn't bring all 250 photographs with me. I just printed out a few. Can you tell me what the numbers are?
That's not anything you need to worry about, all right? It's embarrassing. We don't need to worry about it.
You know what?
Look, that was escorts.
Really?
Really?
Like heterosexual escorts?
Why would you ask me that?
Because of that. That came from.
Everybody's skeletons for that.
Well, that
No, they were transgender escorts in Shreveport. I found them online before I came down. I thought, before I found out my mom just joined a cult, I was going to leave my kid with her for a couple of days and go have I was going to do that. Never have.
That is not against the law.
Yeah, actually it is, but I'm just saying I'm not wanting to give you the impression this is something I do every time I get up.
Being transgender is not against the law.
Yeah, but hiring them is.
Well, depending on what state you're in.
Louisiana.
We're not vice cops. So
I know. I'm just saying.
we investigate.
What am I saying? I don't really give a shit what you guys think about me at this point because it's pretty clear what you already think. So yeah, I guess it is what it is.
I have to unmute myself. It seemed like a Freudian slip where he said, Israel said, that's pretty true. That's what you guys think anyway. It's odd. Yeah, it's we should do like a whole segment at some point about the Texas trip because there's so much odd stuff there and interesting information that's kind of collected in various places, like in the books and in the different interrogations.
What would happen if you received this
I'm not going to look at that.
and that was your daughter?
I'm not going to look at that again.
What would you do? How would you feel? Would you want the Anchorage, Alaska police to contact the Texas Rangers to help them solve this case? Or would you want them to do everything they could to get your daughter back?
Even if she were already dead, they still want her back. And I know you can understand that. It's very important.
And I already talked to you, not just you, but I talked to the Anchorage.
Well, I know. And Anchorage couldn't just live in Texas until you decided to talk.
I'm not going to.
I mean, they had to go back to Anchorage and to you. But they're in Anchorage.
Well, if they want to talk to me, then I guess they need to get me back to Anchorage because I'm tired of Texas.
I understand.
I'm not talking to you guys anymore. It's pretty clear you don't know. I mean, you know what you read in the pictures and reports, and I mean, you basically know what they feed you and what you found in my car, and that's it. And I did talk to you. I'm just not going to talk to you about anything in Anchorage because you're not in Anchorage. I shouldn't have even told you. I don't know. Whatever.
Israel, you know that in Texas state law and United States law, you don't have to have a body to be charged. Yeah.
I know that.
But I know this. I've been doing law enforcement work a long time, as I told you earlier. And if you didn't want to tell us, you'd have told us to pound sand up our butt a long time ago. I don't have any opinion on you based on this. You said that a moment ago. That's not what I'm here for. You do what you do because you believe you need to do it for whatever reason. I don't care. But the fact is a fact that I would have had sand driven out the back of my butt a long time ago if you didn't want to tell what you want to tell.
I did want to tell you something, and I told you that.
Well, that was a long time ago.
No, it was just a few minutes ago.
What was that? I thought that you wanted to tell us
You
about
wanted the whole timeline from the time I got to Vegas,
That was over an hour ago.
and you've been doing all the talking since.
We've offered you the opportunity and you've communicated back and forth.
Mostly, I've just been saying I don't want to talk about that. I know I mean, I think I know what you're trying to do, so I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff.
Why not?
Because first of all, you don't. I'm not even going to answer that because I'm already pissed about some other stuff.
Do you want to talk anymore at all, or are you terminating the interview at this point?
No, I think we're done. I think I'm done talking.
Well, I appreciate it. And I'm serious. I'm not casting judgment on you. And I think that at some point in time, he'll probably want to talk. And if he does, you know how to get a hold of us. And we'll make the trip over again.
Well, the procedure is that he's not going to be here for very much longer, so it probably won't be an issue that y'all will have to deal with at that point. He will have appointed counsel up there, so it's going to be somebody else's deal at that point. So, but I'm still here. If you need me for anything at all, you know how to get a hold of me, and I'm willing to do whatever you need to do.
All right, well, I appreciate you being here tonight.
Sure.
If you change your mind, you're going to have to contact your attorney, okay, and ask for us. And if there's something you want to say,
Just make sure you conclude it.
concerning this individual, that's all we can do, okay? It's what time you got? 12:38 a.m. on 3/18/2012. This interview.
Wow,
Thank you guys so much for watching.
that was really late at night. I didn't realize it was taking place after midnight. So yeah, I've got the comments from his Discus profile pulled up. So let's take a look at those. Going to add another screen. Yeah, they're I just was kind of scanning through them, and they're fascinating, of course. Let's see here. And then I think we're going to go back to the the girlfriend interview because there's some really good stuff there. Let me see how this looks on the screen. Can everybody see those? I think I'll kind of increase the text size here a bit, but I've got it queued up to the first one. It's all the way at the back. Okay, so I think that's a little bit better. I wonder if we can tell where these were. Okay, so he's commenting on Al Jazeera English, which is like an Arabic, Middle East news agency that's run by companies out of America, sort of a U.S. Reporting on Middle East issues. And I'd also like to hear about the whole Scientology thing now. I sort of, now that I've got my head clear, it'd be interesting to hear what the whole deal with Aaron Smith Levin is. So let's see here. Is its first comment was 15 years ago. Superior countries like the USA, what makes us superior? That we have the ability to kill more of them than they can of us? Sort of got a disjointed syntax. It's a lot of really interesting things about the way he speaks too. You know, he doesn't really come off as a serial killer. He kind of has a high, reedy voice. That is what you just said, right? And one of the other things that I'm seeing here, like right away, is that he's like so confrontational. Kind of getting into fights on Al Jazeera. Is it what you believe you are? If that is what you believe, you are a genocidal maniac, not unlike Hitler, who believed that might makes right. I lived in Egypt for 6 months when I was in the army with the MFO. Every Muslim, it's in quotes, so I wonder if that's, I don't know what that, if that there's some meaning to Muslim instead of Muslim. I bet there was nothing but courteous to me. Odd misspellings. Which I am ashamed to say was more than could be said for myself or other members of my squad as we roamed the streets of Sharm el-Sheikh on an overnight leave pass. Wow. Yeah, very inflammatory. Yeah, it's interesting. Just curious, like if there's any of the stuff about Samantha on here. And one of the things I was thinking about too, while reading that comment, is that one of his ex-girlfriends said that he would always like look down on her and her friends because they never, they weren't worldly or traveled like he was, and he would always bring up his stay in Egypt, which is like not much of an experience, but I don't know, something, I guess. Huh. Here's a comment where he's talking about how, the Arabs fought the Russians. I assume he's talking about the Afghanistan war in the 80s. So he kind of seems to have like a high opinion of the Arab people, or at least a low opinion of the U.S. government, which is consistent with some of the themes in the American Predator book, where he was supposedly like an anti-federal government crusader. I wonder if they removed the stuff about the Samantha Koenig murder, because what I'm seeing is like all Al Jazeera on here pretty much so far. Yeah, wow. Israel, Palestine. And I wonder if there's just this. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that there'd be more on 32 comments. So that's. I think maybe they. What do you think, Marissa? Maybe they cut off his comments about the case. I guess that's all I'm seeing. So I think we'll start checking out we'll go back to the Israel Key's girlfriend interview, because that was just getting interesting, and we still wanted to complete our compare and contrast there. So let's switch to the girlfriend interview. We're about 45 minutes into this guy, and it was actually getting to an interesting point where the lady detective that was interviewing Keyes' girlfriend, Kimberly, was from the beginning very accusatory and putting the screws to her. The FBI or the Texas Rangers were sort of pressing Keys at key points more than the interrogations with that happened up in Alaska. They seemed very deferential to Keys, probably because he had most of the leverage in that situation. But they definitely weren't putting the screws to her like the Anchorage Police Department was in this interview with Keys' girlfriend. I think actually the interviewer might be a federal agent. But anyway.
And they drove down to houses. Okay. And he went to his sister's wedding, and now they're driving back and going to see sights and stuff.
Okay. Where's he getting cash for that?
I don't know.
Let me know if the audio on this one's good. The voices are a little bit softer, so I pumped up the volume a bit.
I really don't. I remember, honestly, I asked him a couple times, like, can you afford this? And
this is like a really interesting point. I'll let it run here for a second, but I just wanted to also point out, they're asking her, Kimberly Keys' ex-girlfriend, about the money situation, which is something we've talked about quite a bit. And he didn't have real evident sources of income. So it's a great question.
I'm going to be honest with you. I asked him the same thing, but I just figured he, doesn't have a lot of bills because, I don't know.
Does he have a bank account? Mm-hmm. Do you know where he banks?
Mm-hmm. Alaska, USA.
Alaska, USA.
That's where I bank. Now called something different. But.
Okay. When's the last time you gave him any money?
Him a few hundred, like a month ago, maybe.
Okay, so a month ago, how much did you give him?
$100, like $300. But he loaned it to me first, and then I loaned it back.
Okay, all right. So that was about a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you given him any money since then?
Mm-hmm.
Has he given you any money since then?
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Okay. Do you know if you put that money, did you just transfer it to his bank account?
Transfer it. Yeah, because I'm Alaska USA too. And you just go online and transfer to another member's account.
Okay. So I'm sorry, and I thought you said, is he Alaska USA or is he Denali, Alaska?
Alaska USA.
Alaska USA. Okay. Have any of you ever banked at Denali, Alaskan?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I have a second mortgage at Credit Union 1, but never Denali.
Okay. What's the second mortgage for? For the same
house.
spur house?
Fix it up, yeah.
Okay. When did you take that out?
When I first got the house, a couple weeks after.
Okay. All right. Does he have a credit card? What kind? Visa, MasterCard?
I think he has all those. I think he has several, but
More than one.
we've never combined money or anything like that. So
Okay.
I don't really know a lot about his finances.
So, I mean, I know I asked you this before, but I'll ask you again, and you can put weight on the fact that I'm asking you multiple times. All right. Did he leave this time with the intention of moving out of Texas permanently?
Not that I know of. He said he was, and he has a return flight. That's what he told me. He has a return flight a week from Thursday.
Okay. A week from Thursday, so that'll be what, like the 20th or something like that? Okay, so were you going to go pick him up at the airport?
If he asked me to, yeah.
Okay. Has Israel ever been in trouble?
Not that I know of. He said that when he was
Thank you.
He was in the military at DUI, but that's all I know about.
He's never been in trouble for drugs?
No. And like I said, he's been drinking a lot. Like that was really concerning. Like, really depressed, drinking a lot.
Why?
Because we broke up, even though it's been really a long time, but I don't know. I mean, we hardly talk much when we had the vacation, but even on the boat and had dinner and stuff, it didn't really, I don't know.
Why did you go on vacation with him?
He asked me to a few months ago, and I mean, we were getting along pretty well and stuff.
So had you considered reconciling?
No.
Why not?
just too different. Like, I don't want to just. I need more in life than coming and watching TV and drinking. Like, that's just not my thing. And he used to really like staying active and doing things and all that. But I don't know. We're just not a good fit. We're too different.
When did he change?
After we broke up?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit when his daughter moved out. He, definitely was more about being home. But I just figured, he wants to be with his daughter.
Right. Gotcha. And so has mom ever kind of reached out and contacted you or him and caused any problems? I know that, past relationships can cause problems in current relationships.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, she only contacted, actually, even back then she didn't. But no, I mean, she's a kind of a bad seed from what he's told me, and been, he told me she's had drug addiction problems and stuff.
Do you know what kind of drugs?
I think prescription stuff. I think methadone for a while.
Israel's mom is like a really interesting character in this, and we hear from her in the book. I believe her name's Heidi. She talked to Maureen Callahan, and she seemed to have like a pretty mixed opinion of Israel. So that's an interesting thread.
Other prescription stuff, but
Has he ever had a problem with prescription stuff?
no, not that I know of. The only thing I've ever written for him is an antidepressant, I think, and maybe an antibiotic.
Did he ever see any other doctors for any kind of prescription?
No, when he was in EVA, he had insurance, and he did, but
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
but not here. He went for a full physical last year.
When did you write him the script for the antidepressant? About what time was that? Was that right around the time you guys had broke up?
No, well, he had been on when I met him, so I wouldn't know his script because he didn't have insurance.
Right.
And then he had for a short period of time, but
When was he on?
yeah, I'd have to look at the bottle. I don't remember. But
Well, like 2011, 2010?
just this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2012.
Yeah, I think so. Or no, it was Thanksgiving.
That's really interesting that he was on antidepressants. I wonder what kind, if there's more follow up there.
Because I had a bunch of friends over for either Thanksgiving or Christmas. Christmas for sure, because Thanksgiving I was sick.
Okay.
I had to cancel, and so then I decided to have everybody for Christmas instead.
Okay.
So it was right before that.
Okay. So why did you cancel?
Thanksgiving, I was really sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of illness did you have? Like the flu or?
I'm not sure exactly. Probably like some viral thing. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
Some kind of funk.
Like this. And
Okay.
yeah, I just had some weird stuff. And I just had all these weird things,
Symptoms.
like headaches and swollen eye and just all these weird things going on. I was really sick for a while.
Okay.
Never found out why, but
Gotcha.
I just paying a lot of medical bills now.
What is Israel's cell phone? You might have said this when I was out of the room. But
Should I tell you this right away? Let me keep. My brain is just fried right now. I always just hit the auto dial.
What's your number? Last name?
Keys.
Easy. Okay. And about how old is
10.
10? Okay. You know what date of birth?
Israel's?
No.
It's
So you,
10,
okay,
I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, so Israel didn't know Samantha, as far as you know.
Yeah. As far as I know, I mean, never said the name, never talked about her. I mean, nothing.
Did Israel Facebook? Did he ever have Facebook?
Mm-mm.
Do you Facebook?
Mhm.
You do.
Yes.
What name do you Facebook under? Is it your regular name? It's your Facebook account.
Yep.
Okay. Did you ever Facebook with Samantha?
No.
Okay. Never had any contact with her, even indirectly, as far as you know.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay. Did is there just one computer in your house?
No, I have a laptop. He has a laptop, and then there's the desktop.
Gotcha. So what kind of laptop does he have?
I don't know. He bought it. I don't really know. I mean,
Did you take it down to Texas with him, or is it at your house?
I think he took it with him. I mean, I don't remember seeing it in the office. When I used the computer a little bit the other day, but I mostly just used the laptop. But I don't think it's there anymore.
Okay.
Not very observant, huh?
Oh, that's all right. Do you know if he had an email account?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have more than one?
Mm-hmm. He had an old Hotmail account that he stopped using when I met him. That's what he used.
Okay.
I think it was izzy hotmail.com.
IZZY me.
Mhm. And then he had his Israel Keys Construction .net, and I think it was the same account, but I think he had another address. Yeah.
Okay.
And that white truck of his, when was the last time he used that truck? I mean, is it something he drives all the time, or does he drive?
Usually, yeah.
So in the last few weeks, has he been driving it?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. He takes my car a lot, but I think so. I mean, when I'm at work, I think he takes it and stuff. It's like in a different spot or whatever.
Does he have any other vehicles besides the white pickup?
No, he just uses mine sometimes.
But is there any other vehicles at your house that's his?
No.
Okay. And I haven't seen this truck, so I know he's in the construction business. So can you kind of talk me through what it looks like? I mean, what color it is?
It's white.
Okay. Does it? I mean, he's in the construction business. I mean, I used to have a construction company. Does he got a snowplow on it, or I mean, anything like that?
It
Or
has toolboxes on it. Toolboxes on the sides.
One thing I want to mention here is like a lot of this material I'm getting from the Victoria Evans or her Patreon, which I think is, you can also go to crimecult.com, and it's such an amazing resource. Like she really sets the table and offers like a lot of extras. A lot of the stuff she got through FOIA, so she's done a ton of legwork. And like when you're looking at this interview on her Patreon, there's like lots of extra context and information there. So if you're a serious researcher or just really interested in the case, I definitely recommend it.
Has a trailer hooked up to the back.
and these green toolboxes, is that something he purchased, or
Mm-hmm.
do you know when?
When he first bought the truck.
And they've always been on the truck.
Since he put them on there almost right away. Yeah.
And okay, so that's what does he keep all of his tools in there, his work tools and everything? Or?
A lot of them, and he has a lot in his trailer.
So you tell me that since you've known him with his white work truck, he's always had these toolboxes on? It's always been on part of the truck?
Ever since he bought it, yeah. I can't remember if he made them. I think he made them. I don't think he bought them. Yeah, he put them on there right away. There's like 3. I mean, they have locks and stuff.
Okay.
And back when we were together and would go camping and stuff. I mean, as long as I remember, they've been on there, like the toolboxes. So
So have you ever saw the truck without the boxes on it?
never.
The truck with the boxes is a real big question because Keys put the boxes back on apparently after the murder of Samantha Koenig because he was smart enough to know that surveillance footage would show his truck without them during the crime. So he wanted to differentiate his vehicle as much as possible from the surveillance footage that could exist, which did exist. So that's what the truck boxes are such a big deal here.
And you guys might have talked about this when I stepped out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had a call I had to take there quick. Your timeline, when you said when you guys first left the first time to go on this vacation together, that was around the 4th or 5th, right?
Yeah,
They left
They
first?
left before
Okay.
I did. Yeah, and I needed to work, and then I flew out.
About the
I think I
6th.
flew out the 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you guys hooked up together in
Mhm.
New
And we
Orleans?
went on a 5-day cruise.
So he flew right to New Orleans or he flew to
He
Texas?
flew to Texas,
Okay.
and then he drove to New Orleans, and then we got on a cruise. I think on the maybe I had to have my calendar. Got on the Monday after I flew out. We got on the cruise, yeah, and got off on Saturday, and that's when my friend came to me, and that's when they drove to his family's in Texas.
Do you know about what day that you actually started the cruise?
It was the Monday after the 6th. I know it was a Monday. And
Monday?
I think I flew out on a Friday, I think it was, no, maybe it was Thursday, because I think I took Thursday off to get a bunch of errands and stuff done, so I think I flew out Thursday night, yeah,
Okay.
like on the red eye.
But it still started a couple days later. You were down there for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Then you met him in New Orleans
Met
and you
him
guys
in New
got,
Orleans, stayed a night or two there, and got on the cruise ship on Monday, I'm almost positive it was Monday.
Any details about this last trip are so fascinating because there's so many different things going on. The cruise, driving from Texas to Louisiana, just all this different hubbub, and the real possibility that Keys might have committed another murder during the trip as well. So that's why the timeline's so interesting. There's a really great timeline online that I'll share the link to in the chat.
met him in Israel and
Mm-hmm.
in New Orleans. Okay. And then you went on a cruise for a week,
5 nights.
5 nights? Okay. How was he on the cruise? I mean, how did he act to you?
Yeah, fine. I mean, we didn't hang out together all the time, but he seemed like totally normal.
Was he preoccupied on the phone a lot? Was he?
Because it's really expensive to call from.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't see him on the phone at all.
How about emailing on a computer a lot?
Not at all.
Okay.
He
So
took his computer to New Orleans, but I never even saw him on it. I actually did some paperwork on his computer because I had some patient charts to finish, and I have a key fob so I can access. So, I used it. I never saw him use it.
okay, so you're gone. You think 5 nights? So that would have
On
put
the
you.
cruise, yeah.
So that would put you back in New Orleans around Friday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when you got picked up by your friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And your friend's name again? What's? How would I get a hold of her if I need to talk to her?
She's in China, so email until she gets back. She's traveling in China.
Same last name as you. Is she family?
Mm-hmm. We just have the same last name.
Gotcha. Spelled the same way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys go over to, and then you guys drive to Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you hang out for a while.
Mhm.
And then I think you told me that you guys that you thought you came back around the 21st back to Anchorage.
I came back the 22nd because
22nd.
that day I remember because Fat Tuesday was the 21st, and I flew out early in the morning the next morning.
Until the 22nd. And you flew back again?
Mhm.
With who?
Just myself.
Okay, but what airlines?
Oh, New Orleans to.
So she drove you back to New Orleans, get on a flight?
Yeah, we ended up in New Orleans. We went to Mardi Gras.
Okay. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was really fun. We stayed at a B&B there. And so I think we got there the Saturday before Fat Tuesday, and then I flew out back the day after Fat Tuesday.
And flew back in what airline?
It was Southwest and then Alaska.
22nd, you flew back.
Mm-hmm.
Southwest. Southwest to where?
Dallas.
Okay.
And then it was Dallas, Love Field. And then I took a taxi to the other Dallas, Fort Worth, and then I got on the Alaska Air flight.
Alaska Air to Seattle, or did you go direct?
It had a layover in Seattle.
Okay, and then up to Anchorage. Okay. And where was Israel and when you were driving Florida and all those places?
They were at his parents.
So they're
his
back in
mom's
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And when did they come back?
About a week after I got back. I mean, I don't remember the exact day, but he flew. I'm pretty sure. Did I pick them up? I think I picked them up.
I do want to say that like this part of the interview has been much more on point as far as I'm concerned. Like they're asking here really good follow-up questions. There's not any sort of a real pressing or negative attitude here. No accusations against her, which is an odd way to start with like a witness. You don't have to butter them up, maybe an appeal to their ego like you would with like a murderer or a serial killer, but you just don't want to burn them. But Kimberly seems like a real upstanding person, and she sits for 3 hours during this interview, and I think gives multiple. So seems like she really wanted to help in any way she could.
Airport.
I guess my point would be if she was like less cooperative or agreeable, it might have been a different story.
Or did I? I can't remember.
So they're back around the 28th.
Approximately.
Okay. And then when does he leave again? When do they leave again?
About a week ago.
Do you remember what day? Today is Tuesday.
I don't remember, but I mean, I'd remember like if I looked at my phone because I remember texting and saying I have to take Izzy to the airport.
So they leave again 1 week ago, and it's once again it's Israel.
Mm-hmm.
They fly back to Texas.
Her
What airline?
sister's wedding.
Before the cruise, you said you left. They left the 4th or 5th. You left about the 6th of February. Were you out of town for any work the previous days, the week before that, or anything?
I was in town for work.
Okay. So around February 1st, you were in town.
I don't remember. I looked at my calendar. I know for sure.
How about Israel around that time frame before the cruise?
Yeah, he was in town.
Okay. Do you have a home phone at your place too?
Mm-hmm.
So just a cell phone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he went down for the wedding this last trip,
Yes.
a sister's wedding. Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know which sister was getting married?
I think her name's, I think so, yeah. Like I said, we're not, we don't really talk like we used to and stuff, but I know there's an invitation in the house, though, for the wedding. It's like a little photo with she and her fiance.
Well, and I mean, I'm kind of, how I'm hearing things here, and where, I think that, we have problems. Okay. I have a problem with the fact that you guys broke up last summer, but you're still living together. And despite the fact that you are broke up, you go on a cruise together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had doubts about that, I'll be honest, like if I should do that or not.
Okay. I also have a problem with the fact it's inconsistent to me that you guys are broke up and yet you went on a cruise together, but is firmly convinced that this breakup is new, that it's not 6 months old.
Yeah.
All right. So whether or not you guys broke up last week, last month, or 6 months ago, that doesn't have anything to do with Samantha. Okay. What it does have something to do with is whether or not I think that you're giving me the complete full truth.
Ask any of my friends, they'll tell you the same thing. We've broken up a long time. It doesn't mean that, we don't, like for a while, or it didn't take a while in the beginning to kind of, pull apart, but no, we've been broken up. I think he had hopes that it would work out, you know what I mean? I think he was still trying to make it work out and had hopes and all that, but no, I think he's been pretty aware since for a while now that it wasn't going to, and we weren't going to get back together.
So you think that that's his understanding too, is that you guys were broken up, and that you weren't going to get back together?
Yeah, definitely. I think like later, like last year, I remember when he really started getting depressed, he's like, I remember him just saying, like, it dawned on me finally that this is really over. So why didn't know? I have no idea. Like, I really have no idea. I thought he was.
She knew, but she knew that it was fresh in her mind. Like she had just learned about it.
They're talking about Keys' daughter here and what her understanding of the breakup was, which is an interesting wrinkle in terms of like trying to figure out, what the actual breakup timeline was, because Keys had told police something like, we don't want to tell her until we move out or something like that. But there's a lot of different kind of competing versions. I tend to believe Kimberly just because she's a straight shooter otherwise, but it's an interesting subject because, if you're trying to figure out somebody else's, like Kimberly's culpability, I don't know. I just don't think that she was involved. But anyway.
Told me he wasn't going to tell her until they moved out because he didn't want to upset her. Or, and that's pretty much the way he is. Like, he won't tell her she's going to visit her mom until it actually happens. Because if something happens, it doesn't go through, he doesn't want to be disappointed. I am being honest with you. Like, it doesn't mean that we weren't affectionate together once in a while, but no, we've been broken up for a while, like a year. And like I said, any of my friends will tell you the same thing. I'm not a liar. I don't like being, any implication that I am. I'm really trying to be straightforward with you.
Tell me again about Tell me again about Israel's drug use.
Okay, so he smoked weed in the past, but he told me he doesn't do that anymore. And he drinks a lot, and I know of no other drug use.
Okay. So as a trained professional, you don't know of any kind of substance abuse problem?
I usually recommend, I would usually recognize that because I worked in a jail, right? So, no, he would act weird to be drunk. So I figured he was drunk, and he would, laugh weird and stuff. But
He does laugh weird.
Like I said, when I've seen things and saying that you did stuff. You know, like I just remember all that, and he never did anything like that.
What about prescription drug use?
No, not that,
You never got the impression that he
Mm-mm.
abused any kind of prescription drugs.
No, I never got that feeling.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. And heroin?
No.
No impression that he used any kind of heroin
No,
products?
and he never had like any kind of
Track marks?
no track marks or pock marks like they used to have in the jail or anything like that. No.
What is it for you as?
Just like she used to, when a long time ago, she would say mom and
Are you close to her?
a little bit. I try to keep my distance because I know they're moving out. So I was when they first moved in, but I don't know. Like I've known for a while that I wasn't sure about things, but then when I started living here permanently, like I said, like it just became more apparent.
When was the last time her mom has been part of her life?
They text and do video thingies, but not much. Her mom sometimes go a month without talking to her.
But physically seeing her face to face, or
It's been a long time.
are we talking months, years?
Maybe probably a year.
What phone do they text on?
Um,
What's her phone number?
don't remember, but I have it in my phone.
Okay. Do you know what kind of a phone it is, or is it like an AT&T phone? Or?
Yeah, it's like some little cheap one from AT&T, like $20 phone or something. He got her. We are on the same phone and stuff. Contract and all that.
I want to cancel those extra lines.
Pays that and the cable and everything else.
Heck of a deal. It's interesting that they're asking her like these sort of detailed questions. I guess it makes sense to want to know like what kind of computer Israel has and all that sort of stuff, but what kind of phone the daughter has. I mean, they can verify that through other sources. I don't know. It's just something I thought about.
Does Israel know anybody in Las Vegas?
Mm-mm.
She doesn't have any friends or any family in Las Vegas. You've never had, since you get this, that have the same phone plan, you get his phone bill. You've never had any
He
phone
always
calls
pays
to.
it, so quite truthfully, I never look at it. He goes online and pays it. I never ever look at it, so I don't know.
Okay, but he's never talked about anybody. And
Mm-mm, no.
how about Maine?
Yeah, he has family in Maine.
Do you know who lives in Maine?
I think his brothers do.
Okay, but how many brothers does he have? One or
I think he has
three brothers?
and two of them live in Maine.
Do you know which two?
No. I trying to remember their names. I think something else. I'm not really sure. I think youngest.
Is he one of the ones that lives in Maine?
I think he lives in Texas. He's the young one, one of the younger ones.
Okay.
And then his other two brothers are the ones that live in Maine.
Do you know how old he's the baby?
I only met him once, when I first started dating. I met his family, and then a few years ago in Indiana, I lived there. Yeah, I'm not sure how old he is.
Is he like high school age or?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I would guess because when I met him, he was probably elementary school age. So, yeah, probably early high school.
So he still lives at home, kind of age.
I think they're Israel's youngest brother here. I didn't know he was that young. Huh. Maybe I'm missing something. That's wild.
Okay.
As far as I know, he's still does. I mean, a few years ago in Indiana, he was still pretty young. So,
Why did they move from Indiana to Texas?
his family, like I said, they're really religious, and they lived in Maine, like joined kind of an Amish community, and then I think his mom decided they weren't religious enough, so then she went and joined kind of this ex-Amish group in Indiana, and then I guess didn't like that, so she moved down to Texas with another religious group, and he calls a cult. So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you know the name of the religious group? Okay.
Nope.
But it's some kind of Amish derivative.
No, not Amish derivative at all.
Oh, okay.
It's all cult-like, as we told me.
Okay.
Cult hoppers. It's a really interesting phenomenon where some people move from cult to cult. And like once people have been in a cult, the chances, like if they leave, that they go into another one goes up. It's just interesting. There's some people that sort of maintain this pattern for long periods of time. I always think of Mark Vicente as like a really interesting example because he was like Keith Raniere's number two guy next to him for a long time, and before that he was like in the Ramtha mystery cult, and it's just interesting how people sort of, I guess, grow accustomed to the cult lifestyle, whatever that is.
So she used to be Amish when she was in Maine. They used to be Amish, and then they were.
They didn't join like the church or anything, but they dressed and they like Amish, and they lived in the community and all of that.
They don't.
Israel's not religious, I think, because he was raised in such a, they were so isolated. They were homeschooled and really,
Gotcha.
So, yeah, he doesn't really, ever since he went in the military, he just said he didn't believe everything he was raised with.
It seems that your relationship's been rocky for a good year.
Mm-hmm,
better,
definitely,
right? Okay.
Definitely.
Where did he go? I mean, when you guys would have a disagreement, where did he had to reach out to somebody? I mean, do you have a buddy in town? I know you said he didn't hang out with anybody,
He
but
doesn't really have any friends. That's what I mean. Like, I think I was his only social support,
so he would stay at the house even though you guys didn't get along very well. He'd hang
go
out.
out to his truck and smoke a cigar, or he'd go work in his shed, or he'd be downstairs and I'd be upstairs. Like sometimes we'd go days and out, to tell you the truth. It's been really hard.
He didn't have anybody to turn to.
No. He
that
would
he could
call
talk
his
to.
family sometimes. He had a friend named Bay that he would call, but no, nobody. And so I always felt kind of bad that he didn't have somebody to talk to, But yeah, he moved here to be with me and didn't really have friends here. He would just kind of hang out with my friends. But yeah, he's changed a lot since we broke up. I'll be honest. He's
Well, it's got to be kind of traumatic, and not only that, he knows that you guys' relationship is basically done with. But then to stay at the house and be with you and see you all the time.
Yeah, it's been really, really hard. And it's like if you have a rough day at work and then you come home and that's tense. But I didn't want to be throw them out. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering why they're asking some questions. Like if they're just trying to, I don't know. It's hard for me to speculate, Marissa, but yeah, it's like why are they asking all these pointless questions they could confirm easily from other sources? But maybe they're just trying to get some sort of measure of Kimberly. But I don't know. Yeah. I miss the Texas Rangers, is what I'm saying.
You take care of any daycare or anything like that?
She goes to Champ Taekwondo after school. They pick her up and they pick up Champ Taekwondo and art.
Champ? So CHAMP, like champion?
Yeah. And they pick her up in a little bus and take her there. And she has classes, and then she can do her homework and play. And then he just had to pick her up by 6 every day.
You have a mailbox at your house. Do you get mail there?
Mhm.
Do you have any other mailing addresses?
It's
Mail cash?
yeah,
So you get mail at both places?
and he gets mail there too.
At both places?
The family of origin stuff, as I have said a couple other times, is like so fascinating. Compartmentalized is probably a great word. It's just there's I think there's a lot of different stuff that goes into the stew of like what makes a serial killer, but having like a crazy upbringing like that, it's just something that I would love to know more about. And I need to go through the entire timeline videos that Victoria Evans has done. I think it's like up to like 20 something parts now. Yeah, I really don't think Kimberly knew anything, but that's just my impression so far. I'm open to other explanations, but yeah, Keys' family life is nuts, and I'm just so curious about what his other siblings are up to, what they think about Israel, what the mom is like, because she seems to have no misgivings about Israel actually being a killer. So yeah, it's just a lot of fascinating stuff there in the family of origin.
It's just both at the house.
No, he
And
never uses the house, but he gets mail at the mail cash.
okay.
For like few clients, mails checks for his bills. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know his license had expired so long ago. But
Anybody else works with him? I mean,
mm-mm.
so he does all this.
This guy, he's hired him a few times, I think. Like not in a long time though.
Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've met him for
You
sure.
describe him. I mean, what race is he?
Yes, he's white and he has sort of blonde hair.
How old?
40s, I would say.
And he owns his own construction company too? Or?
And
So Israel hires him to help? Or?
no, like I think that he would bill it where that he would get paid an hourly or like I don't know exactly how he would do it, but I know he helped him on jobs a few times.
Who helped who?
Would help Izzy on jobs that he had bid for, and he would go in and
It's just something I've thought about, Marissa, because the milieu that Keys grew up in, he was friends with those other two guys who were also killers and involved in some sort of terrorism stuff. So, it's like you lift up a rock, you don't just find a single cockroach, It's just something I've thought about. Yeah, I wonder, but, I don't want to throw accusations around. I'm sure, they've already dealt with like enough stigma, but yeah, his mom just seems like a piece of work.
do work with him.
Okay, what is drive for?
I think it's a van, but I haven't seen the only one I can think of.
When you say you haven't seen him in a long time, or hasn't worked with him in a long time, what are we talking about? Your long time might be different than my long
I
time.
know, and I'm so bad at remembering this kind of
I mean, are we
stuff.
talking days, weeks, months?
At least months, probably longer. And the only, I know that one time, it was probably 2 years ago, maybe, a summer job that, and some other guy, I have no idea what his name is or anything like that, but it was somebody, the three of them did something, but he never had employees or anything like that.
Help out, because you always run into heavy jobs. You can't lift stuff, and you can't, you need a little hand on them.
No,
In van, what color van was that?
I do not remember at all.
Okay, I mean a work van or a kind of
Just
conversion
kind
van
of
or
a regular old van.
POS, an old one, kind of a piece of.
I don't know what it. Oh, no, yeah, I'd say that, yeah,
Okay, more of a junker.
yeah.
Like a minivan or a big box?
Um,
I think it's, when you say old POS, are we talking, you know anything about vehicles?
No.
Okay. So like 5, 10 years old, more than that, or?
Probably more. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I honestly don't remember. And, he has, like, he hasn't worked for him in a really long time. But I have friends who know, would know
Who would know
best.
would know that I could call him?
Mhm. Yeah.
How do you spell?
I think.
Relay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's all kind of I guess, new band from college, and so that's kind of how Izzy met him and stuff.
Sure.
But
How did Israel get along with your friends?
he got along kind of like Christmas. They came to the house and stuff. But
During a Christmas party with Israel Keys as like the new boyfriend. It's one thing I think about a lot is like the context that we have can't help but like color everything. So it's hard to sort of unwind that. But my God, he just, yeah, it just would be insane to witness.
I mean, he got along with him fine. He's definitely like kind of introverted, and took him a while to kind of warm up and stuff.
Who do you think he was the closest with your friends?
But I mean, yeah, and they didn't hang out or anything. Like if they were already hanging out, they would chat and whatever. But they never like hooked up and did anything. Just the two of them or anything like that. But he's definitely like the one I'm most comfortable with, I think.
Okay. And when did you move to Petersburg?
2 years maybe.
What are your normal kind of sleeping hours at the house? I know that, you have a job, you have to get to work pretty early in the morning. So
I go to bed like about 11 or 12, and then Izzy stays up. I don't know. I don't know if he ever goes to bed. He's like
more of a night owl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not when he's working. When he's working at the end of the year, like I said, he was really depressed. I mean, I don't think he ever left the house. Like he just stayed in the basement all the time. And,
kind of was up at all hours of the night, sort of
yeah,
thing.
he'd stay up late. And like I said, he would drink a lot. He drank a lot. I mean, he definitely, like I said, I just thought he was depressed.
Okay.
You said that he was in the Army.
Mhm.
Was that an honorable discharge?
Mhm.
Okay. Does he? I've got a son that was in the military. I mean, he still kind of, even though he's out, he still likes to wear some of his garb. I call it. Was Izzy kind of into that? Wearing the camouflage stuff or anything like that? Or?
No, he had a bandana that was like camo that he used to wear, but he isn't. Like, no, he never really.
So he didn't get into any of the jackets or any of the baseball caps
No.
into the Army or any of the different services or anything like that.
Nope.
Number. Now that you've had a couple days to think about it, do you remember?
No, I honestly don't. It's just in my phone. Like, I don't call it enough to.
Is your phone in your vehicle? Okay.
I just like I said, I don't see him having anything to do with some girls. Like, he's like a nice person. He's
The white truck that's in the driveway. You know where the keys are for that?
I have a key.
You have a key for that truck? Okay.
Mhm.
And what about the shed?
Nope, I don't have a key for that.
Who's got the key for that?
Just Izzy.
When was the last time you were in the shed?
He's always had it locked. He built it when we rented a place downtown on 12th Ave, and he's always had it locked.
What's he keeping there?
I think tools and stuff.
Even though it's your house, he doesn't give you a key?
Mm-mm.
You ever been in the shed?
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Just for people that don't know the cases as well, the shed that they're referring to, and I think there's actually two sheds. One of them was the one where Samantha Koenig was murdered in, so it's very central to the case.
And then, like, just tools and screws and nails and stuff like that. That was a long time ago. I think that's when I think that might have even been the old house.
So he moved this shed over from one house to the next house?
Yeah, and then the reason it's in the front yard is when he built my garage. I think he built it around September. He moved it to the front because he wouldn't have been able to get it through the garage because he knew that he was moving.
Mhm.
So
So he kind of put it where he could remove
where
it.
he could remove it. Yeah.
How was he going to move it? You know, I mean, is he going to bring it back to Texas with him somehow?
I don't know. I think originally he was planning to stay in Alaska.
Gotcha.
And he said he probably wasn't going to. Didn't like the winters and all of that. He always would get depressed in the winter. You know? But yeah, I mean, why would he move the shed out front if he wasn't planning on moving because we're broken up? You see what I mean?
Right. It just doesn't add up, you know?
Yeah.
What would you say is, everybody has a favorite place to go to? I mean, you know, Alaska's beautiful up here in the summertime or winter, depending upon what you like, you know, which season you like.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is Israel's favorite place in Alaska?
I don't know. He likes fishing, but he doesn't have like one place or anything.
So he
He
didn't have,
mostly just works in the summer. Like he works in the summer.
but he didn't go to a friend's cabin, or he didn't go somewhere special that he talked about, and
No,
you guys ever went there?
he would go like fishing, but he went different places. And like I said, in the summer he works and works and works. Like he has that saw thing in the backyard. So he would take her back to work with him. So
Did he, does he have a boat or anything? I mean, where do you
he
fish?
did in the bay, but no, he would just.
I tend to agree, Marissa, and it's hard to see her like being this forthcoming and just willing to deal with all this BS and sit there for hours and rack her brain for any info she has. If anything was otherwise, I mean, again, I don't really know this case as intimately as I want to know it to make those sort of like firm conclusions, but that's my working hypothesis for now. And I haven't seen anything that would challenge that. So it's one of the real incongruencies that sticks out to me is like, what did the FBI/APD know, if anything, that made them suspect Kimberly was involved? Is it just a proximity or?
Whatever, but he didn't go very often. But like back before, when we were getting along better, we would go camping and dip netting and stuff like that. You know.
When's the last time you talked to Izzy?
This morning.
About what time?
I was about 8 something, like on my way to work.
Okay.
I called to let him know that the leak. He was gonna fix the water heater before he left, and I let him know that the leak was getting really bad, and asked if there was any way I could fix it. And which is probably way overflowing right now since I didn't get to go and do the bucket of water. But and I asked him about the lizard. I'm taking care of the lizard, and he said I have to feed the lizard worms, and I'm like, they're all lethargic, and is that okay? Can I still feed them? And that's what we talked about.
Did you call him or he called you?
I called him. I had texted him like the night before asking about those two things. I didn't hear back, so I called him this morning.
And you think that was about 8 o'clock?
8:15, yeah. I have such a bad memory. It was like, I do remember that this is on my birthday, I leave around 8, so.
Has he, and I know I probably asked this already, but has he ever owned any other vehicles?
Yeah, that was, it broke down. He had like this old beater, like, I can't even remember what kind of truck it was, but he drove it from Washington. But he hasn't had it since he bought the other truck. And like his new truck, he's had it for quite some time now. He bought it from affordable used cars.
I really am such a proponent of like open government stuff, and so what Marissa's referring to, the FBI sealing all their documents, it just really bothers me because it's just people should be able to examine it. I mean, it's our tax dollars that are funding it. I know that's sort of a trite argument, but it just creates like an environment of suspicion where, when the government doesn't release stuff, when the JFK files are still partially locked, despite there being laws requiring their release, people start to wonder. And I just don't think it's a good strategy in general. So, and also, it's just curiosity is like one of the central animating focuses here. So I just want to know what's in those files. Because like one of the things I was talking to people have made a number of comments about in the live streams and other stuff I've done about Keys and speculating about whether or not he was like a secret agent, because there's a lot of breadcrumbs that could lead somebody into that direction. So you get into that sort of speculation. People naturally go there when everything's still under lock and key.
Okay, so the old beater,
Broke down, the engine went kaput.
and I mean, was it ever over at your place?
Yeah.
What color was it?
Blue, I think. Yeah, blue.
Did he use it for work or what?
Yeah, it was totally.
So he had this truck before the white one.
Yeah. And when it broke down, he bought the white one. That was a long time ago. I don't remember exactly when he bought that, but I know he has the loan for it, so he could probably know when he got it from that. That's when he got rid of the other one.
Were you guys together when you came up from Washington?
I was already here, but yeah, we were together when he moved up here.
How did you meet?
Match.com when I lived in Port Angeles.
Gotcha.
I was working.
We must see Israel Keys' Match.com profile. Too bad that's probably like down the memory hole, but good Lord.
An urgent care family med clinic there. I didn't know anybody, so I just put a little thing. That's how we met. So we would just hang out on the weekends and stuff. And
Would Israel steal from anybody?
no, I don't think he would.
No. What do you think his opinion is of people that take things from other people? I mean, has he ever? I mean, coming from a very religious background, I would think that would be.
Yeah. We've never really talked about it, but I don't think he would ever think that was okay or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this question I'm going to ask you, you might think is a little strange, but we need to ask tough questions.
Yeah.
Has Israel ever been unfaithful to you?
Not that I know of, except that back when we lived in the old house, I saw he had been sending pictures to people like online, like a girl online, and I just found it accidentally. Like I was looking for an old page on the history, and that was there, but swears he's never done it since,
And what?
swore he never actually met the person or saw the person. It was just online flirting. That's when I was traveling a lot. I mean, it was most of our relationship, other than Port Angeles, when we only saw each other on the weekends, I've been traveling a lot. I'd work on the North Slope. I'd work, you know, like I said, and then once we were together a lot, it's like, okay, we're not very compatible. But he was always so nice and so good that I stayed with him, you know.
What type of photos did you inquire when you saw this?
He just had one like his upper body, like muscles and stuff.
Were they kind of sexual in nature? Or
They
sensual
weren't
at
like
least?
super explicit or anything. No, they weren't. It wasn't like, you know, major. There wasn't like nudity. It was just sort of like his from here up and
when
like
was this?
flexing and stuff. It was a long time ago. It's when we rented the old house, so it was probably like 2007. Like I'm guessing way back. And yeah, but no nudity.
The Wayback Machine is incredible, Marissa. And I really have never, that I can think of, really looked up many social media or dating profiles on there, but it's just so great. It's sort of been nerfed lately because you used to be able to find like and borrow like pretty much any full length older book on there. So I used to just constantly use it for research stuff. Nowadays I have to order a lot of more old stuff to read or check out because it's not as available, but still pretty amazing. I love that website.
Do you know who that girl was? What her name was?
No idea. I just remember having a fit, and he's, as far as I know, never done it since.
Okay.
But, you know, as far as I know, he was never in a big flow over together. So, I mean, I don't know what he's been doing last year, but
Do you have access to his Facebook site
he doesn't have a Facebook site.
that you know?
Yeah, that I know of. He told me he didn't want to do that. Like, didn't love Facebook and stuff.
When did he drop his Facebook?
He never had a Facebook.
Well, how was he communicating with this other person back
Oh,
in
that
07?
was just email. Like, email.
So it wasn't one of these open
No,
sites, chat room sites, and
No, I mean, I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I think it was just his regular email.
because that's kind of strange, you know,
Yeah.
to email a photo, because you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally. That's true. But yeah,
What about Twitter? Does he use Twitter or
Mm-mm.
MySpace?
no,
No, social networking
no, he
site.
doesn't do. He's really specifically said like I even said, yeah, you should get Facebook. You
Yeah.
know,
And I know a while back you mentioned you had a laptop. You know what kind of your laptop is?
mine's a Dell.
A Dell.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you had a PC too, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And what's your PC?
Dell.
And does that have the tower and printer?
Yes.
You know what kind of printer?
I think it's an HP.
Like, why would they care about like that it's an HP? I mean, they can look at the printer.
I think we already asked you this, but Israel does have a computer, a laptop. You said.
Mm-hmm.
What is? Do you know what kind that was?
No.
Can you describe it for me?
Flat.
I mean, is it a big one, or some of the screens are bigger, some are smaller?
This is bigger.
I really wouldn't be surprised if he had like a bunch of different Finsta type accounts, like kind of like fake burner type accounts on social media, because it seems like he spent a lot of time, creeping over all sorts of different social media or missing persons, or he was just really into like hunting for people or things like, real estate. He spent a lot of time looking at real estate. So yeah, I think it's probably a pretty solid assumption that he had at least some kind of Facebook account using his real name. Who knows?
Like mine, I don't know, like that.
Okay.
I think.
And I'm not too computer tech savvy by any means. Any of the other stuff, the access to get on the internet, does he have any other devices that you know about? Or
No, I mean, he uses my desktop.
is his phone
So does
the AT&T phone that he has? Is that
it's
is
just
it an iPhone or
no, it's not anything like that. It's just like an old flip thing.
phone?
Yeah, he said, he doesn't really. He likes one that's a little indestructible for when
Okay.
he's working.
So he doesn't get internet or any of the.
Mm-mm,
You
nothing
can't
like
get the
that.
services on there.
Mm-mm, just me. I have Yeah.
Do you know what kind his phone is? It's through AT&T, but do you know what brand of phone it is?
Mm-mm.
But it is a flip phone, or is it a slide phone?
I think it's a flip phone.
What color?
Yeah, it's a flip phone. I think it's gray and black. I think. I think it sounds familiar.
Have you seen him with any other phones?
No.
Because these phones are dime a dozen nowadays, you know.
Yeah. No, I've definitely not seen any other phones.
Have you paid any other phone bills for him?
Mm-mm. Nope, he pays the AT&T. It used to be GCI, but I switched it to AT&T because I got like a 40% discount or something big like that.
Okay.
And we have bad reception for GCI.
So he pays the bill?
That's the one. He's always paid the phone and cable and stuff, even when we lived downtown. Well, when we lived downtown, he paid all utilities.
I thought you said that you paid it and he paid you back.
No, he doesn't pay me back. He pays the phone and the cable. I pay all the other utilities. I pay my mortgage, and we exchange work for rent, basically. Like, so that's why he lives there free, because he's done a whole bunch of work on the house.
How do you how does he afford like construction materials? Do you pay for them and then?
No, for my house,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I buy my construction materials.
Yeah.
But not recently. He hasn't done work since I think the garage, like September, and then I think he did the bathroom later last year, maybe October. And that was all like cheap stuff. But yeah, I paid for the door for the garage and stuff like that. Like I think I transferred it and then he bought it or whatever, and he saves the receipts and all that.
Gotcha.
Where does he like to go when all guys have their favorite store that we shop
Home
in?
Depot.
He likes Home Depot.
He's in Home Depot.
You know which one?
I think the one on Tudor, and I think what's the Lowe's? I think he's in there.
Both of them, Home Depot and Lowe's?
Mm-hmm.
Both on Tudor?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he goes to other ones, but those are the ones I remember him going to.
Okay.
And sometimes, what's the other construction, like the private one, not the big box store, but
SBS.
He has an account with them. And so a lot of times he would charge materials on his account, and then when his clients paid him, then he would pay that off.
Okay.
And,
So like the line of credit kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my materials I bought, or he would buy them and then give me the receipt and I would pay him back.
You know, Marissa, sorry, this is a total aside, but I was just looking up Aaron Smith Levin because I was curious, like, what he's in jail for. And I guess it's like over assaulting a couple different guards of Scientology facilities, which is like so nuts. But I'm still like missing so much context. I haven't followed anything involving Scientology in like forever, but yeah, he must have like gotten like a revocation or something on the first one, and then I don't know, maybe I'm just wondering why he's been in jail for so long on a couple of misto assaults. Yeah, well, bizarre.
So,
Okay.
One of the worst things about this job is when people get involved in some cases. Some of our investigations, people get, I don't want to necessarily say dragged into something, but they get involved in something,
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I mean, at the time that I was doing my videos on Aaron Smith Levin, like they were doing those sort of street protests, which I think are a terrible idea for reasons that I'm are actually going to be explained in the video I'll release on Nixium today. I think I'll just release it today. I don't really care when it comes out. And it's because, like, if you attack a cult or can be seen as perceived as attacking a cult, it's basically giving them the fuel they need, because they need an outside force coming down on them for the leader to tell his following, everyone's trying to stop us. It's a huge ingredient in what makes a cult. And so, like, they're just basically helping Scientology when they do these little ineffectual street protests where they're, it's basically like First Amendment auditing type stuff. It just serves to sort of anger people. And it's, yeah, but I mean, it's just I haven't seen the video or really followed it for a while, so I should give that a look. Maybe I could make some content out of it. Oh, because he can't get along with other inmates. All right, yeah, it's sort of along the lines of what I was thinking, Marissa. It doesn't surprise me. He was a jerk in jail. He's just a really jerky guy, and he's somebody I've wondered if he's like some sort of Scientology hired agent provocateur to do their, to help them in the end. And that impression may seem a little bit loony, but we're dealing with Scientology here, and also, like, if you look at his entire history after leaving Scientology, it's very fishy, to put it mildly.
That they don't want to do something, or they're not necessarily want to take part in something. But next you know, they're in over their head. I've only known you for 45 minutes or an hour since we've been sitting in here talking. I'm a pretty good judge of character. And watching you, honestly, I feel that you are a good person. You've worked hard. You had to work hard because you're in the medical line. You're in a position that's not just a 4-year degree. It can be 6, 7, 8 years, to get your nurse practitioner. That's a lot of work, I actually had a family member that's looked into that, and I know how many years it takes to get that. I mean, that's not something you just stumble into. That's a lot of diligence, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. And
Yeah.
And like Detective Dahl mentioned to you earlier, this is a large investigation. It's a very serious investigation, including not only our agency, but like she said, the FBI. The worst thing that can happen to somebody is they get in over their head, things happen, and next you know, it hits them with the old shit factor is what I call it. It's like, oh my God, what the hell happened here? And that's not to say that they are bad people, and we run into people all the time in these rooms when we talk to people, they are good people. They worked hard to get where they're at. They just made a decision or two that put them in a different situation that occurred real quick. And all of a sudden, next you know, it's like they can get in over their head real quick. The worst thing that I want to see, and I don't want this to happen, Detective Dahl is 100% correct. This investigation has been going on for 6 weeks. There's been hundreds and hundreds of people interviewed. We know a lot of information. The worst thing that affects me the most is when somebody walks out the door and has a chance, like you are sitting in your chair, has a chance to redeem themselves or whatever happened.
This is like the speech you give to a kid that just got busted for DUI and you want him to make a confession. It's like so incongruous again with Kimberly here. And it's his patter, when you compare it to the patter of those smooth talking Texas Rangers, they're just in and out, no extra stuff. But this guy's like repeating himself, too much talking. That's basically my point.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I have no idea. And they walk out and they make the decision not to provide information or to provide help. And next you know, they went from being just a small part of something to being a very large part of something. And I've seen it happen several times in this job.
What I mean, I don't understand what you think I'm holding back, though. That's what I mean, I mean, he's been, like I said, drinking a lot. He's been acting weird and withdrawn and all that. But I swear I did not know anything of a meth problem. The only thing is, and this is the only thing, a while back, I found out he grew weed for personal
Dun, dun,
whatever.
dun.
And
The context I should add here, like just for folks not familiar with like the Alaska laws and stuff like that, is Alaska has always been, since at least the 70s, very lenient on personal use marijuana. It was decriminalized at one point. It got kind of a complicated history, but police are not out there, or weren't before it's the legalized era that we're currently in, to look for weed. In fact, now there's a weed shop on like every corner. It's everywhere. But it's just wouldn't be the same sort of issue that it would be in Texas, for example, where it's much more, the laws are much more harsh.
not okay with that.
Okay.
And
Where
so
did that take place then?
That I know.
the other point is that the fact that like Kimberly seems to be taking weed this year, it says to me that she's pretty goody two shoes, because nobody gives a shit about weed in Alaska, or at this point would have. I mean, it's very much part of the culture in a way.
The shed. I know
Okay.
it was because I went to take a phone call to him, and his door was kind of open, and I saw, plants.
Okay.
Not
What
a
are we talking?
bunch or anything.
Yeah. What are we talking about? How many plants?
Like 6 or something.
When was this?
It was basically had a consumption fit, and told him that he had to get rid of them or leave. And I said, I've worked really hard for my license, and this is not okay with me, and get rid of them and move out. And he told me he got rid of them, and I believe him. I mean,
So if he's growing these in the shed, are there windows in this shed?
no,
How did he get them to grow in the shed?
I don't. I think
It's
he had
dark.
some lights and stuff.
Okay. So he had an actual grow with lights and.
Yeah, but like I said, it was just a few. I don't think he was like growing them to do any, like, sell it or anything. There weren't that many in there.
See, and that's exactly the type of information
That is the only thing that I didn't tell you is, like everything else, to be honest, I don't know of a meth addiction. I don't know. He's never had anybody at the house.
Does he get strange phone calls at night? Does he get people stopping over?
No, definitely not. Like, I wouldn't be cool with that.
Has he had any type of threats, anything like that, from people that he owed money, anything like that he's talked to you about, that he owes people money?
No, he's never said that he has any threats or anything.
Has he ever come to you to borrow money to pay somebody back?
No.
That he owed somebody money?
No. I basically live paycheck to paycheck.
So basically, you're head of the household as far as financially.
Yeah.
You got the house. You make the house payments. You guys go on a cruise. This cruise had to be several $1,000s, right? By the time you fly down there, and
I used miles to get my ticket. He bought his ticket quite some time ago.
Who paid for the cruise?
He did, and I paid him for my portion. So it was really cheap cruise, though. It was like, that's how he taught me into going. He's like, oh, I'll be only like $200 for you because a third person in the room and whatever. So I think my portion was maybe $200-300 at the most.
What was his? Him
and 500 maybe.
And I know what cruises do. They lure you in with a cheap price, and then once you get there, everything you do is cost money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to drink alcohol, if you want to get off the boat, if you want to do this or that, I mean, was he spending money or?
Very little, like a few drinks here and there. When we were on land, we didn't do any excursions or anything. Like Cozumel, we took a taxi to a beach and snorkeled. Taxied back. Meridia, I think that was at the beach too. Yeah, we didn't really do expensive excursions or anything because he said he had to keep it cheap.
Is that how?
I had to keep it cheap too.
And he hasn't worked for a while, right?
Not for a bit, no. I mean, he did a couple of little jobs.
But he's got truck payments. He's got insurance on his truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's expensive. You
No,
know
I
that. You
agree.
got a vehicle.
He
You got a
told me
nice.
he'd worked a couple jobs, you know, and I know he's supposed to start a job when he gets back.
You
So
saw
my
this.
friends
You saw
Mel and
this.
Drew, because they told me they had set it up or whatever.
You saw the grow in the shed,
Yeah.
and that was a year and a half ago. Have you been in the shed since?
No,
How do you know he took it down?
because I saw the empty stuff, so that's why I believed it.
Does he have electricity out to the shed?
Yeah. And when he did it that month, like for a couple months, my bill
How about
was,
now? Right now, if we went
well,
over
my
there, is there
bill's
court?
normal now. It was like really high when he did that, and like when I had that connection fit and everything. But now my electric bill seems to be normal.
What was he doing with the pot? He was growing it.
Personal use is what he told me.
You believe that?
I mean, I believe it. He was smoking back then, and he doesn't smoke now. But I just didn't think it was okay. I'm like, this is my property.
No.
And,
You've been, you're a medical professional.
yeah.
People just don't stop using drugs like that. I know very few people.
It's just so weird to me that like even back in this era, they're referring to like weed as like some sort of like terrible street drug. Because it just, in my experience, maybe different, I guess, in other places. But Anchorage is like, they find the victim, Samantha Koenig's dad, has a weed grow in his house. I mean, that's how common it is. There's like weed grows everywhere in this case, and it's not relevant at all. My parents grew weed when I was a kid. I mean, everybody did. It's just crazy.
And I've been involved in a lot of people in this line of work. They can walk and somebody catches them doing something where they can shut it down just like that, just like a light switch.
Yeah. But
You know that, I
does
know that.
Though he's like, he was into poker for a while and like totally obsessed with it, and then he just stopped. And he was in.
When was he into poker?
That was a long time ago, like when we lived at the old house.
So he's
Just
into
online
gambling. He just
poker.
stops.
Yeah.
And who paid the bill for that?
It was like, I don't know, like it wasn't like expensive gambling. It was one of those online, like $10 or something. I don't know, like I have no idea. But he got really obsessed with that. Stop that. He'll get really like into something and then he'll just stop. So that's really typical of him. So I didn't doubt it.
So the mailbox that you got over on Arctic, I think that's what you said the number was on it.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you said he got his mail there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you got your mail there?
I just got it today on my way home.
But you said you had your mail delivered to the house.
I said I have it delivered to both.
To both?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's exactly what I said. I said I get mail at the house in the mailbox, and he gets it just at the
Why
mailbox.
to both? That's it's kind of a hassle.
Because I already had, when I opened the one at Arctic Boulevard, it was right after I just moved here, and I knew that the place I was renting I would only be in temporarily. And I didn't want to have to change my address on my mail. And then I started working as a traveler, and they could forward my mail for me and everything.
When you were traveling, was that one of his kind of to help you out? Was that to go over and get your mail from the mailbox and all that?
Yeah.
And what?
So it looks like this all runs up to a section on Israel's vehicles, which is at 155. I usually run about 2 hours on these, so I think we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. I'm really looking forward to getting a video out. I mentioned earlier in the stream at the beginning that I was editing a video last night on Nixium. It sort of came up as I was, I followed the Nixium subreddit, and there was a really interesting couple of items about this Forbes magazine issue from back in 2003 that I've been curious about for a long time. I collect old periodicals, and it's like been impossible for me to find because it seems like, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but anyway, I'm making a video on this really bizarre magazine article that didn't appear to exist in real life. Like you couldn't find the actual magazine. So inspired a lot of curiosities. And so I'm working on that. I'm working on a video about Mindhunter, which I kind of had to put on the back burner for a couple of days, but it's Israel Keys' favorite book. And there's lots of interesting stuff about that. And I'm probably also going to dig into what the heck's going on with Aaron Smith-Levin and Scientology later today when I get some time, because that's such a weird. I'm just surprised that on a couple small charges like that, he's always seems to make things worse for himself. But he's been in jail for a while now. If you don't know Smith-Levin, he was like sort of the leader of the anti-Scientology movement. Yeah, hey, thanks, Marissa. super appreciate your correspondence. It's really helped make these streams possible. So I will check in with you later. And yeah, so anyway, always interested in cults and murder for some reason. Why is that? I think it says something fascinating about the human condition. And yeah, excited to get back into it. It was a long night last night. Editing is like going into a wormhole. You get very punchy after it. And I probably edited for like 10 hours yesterday. So yeah, we'll just stop here. I don't think there's anything that revelatory coming up, but I think tentatively next week we'll probably be looking for more Israel Keys stuff, and we'll also check in on the girlfriend interviews as we have time, because they're very interesting at certain points for sure. And she's an interesting character in this whole drama. So if you have any suggestions, any thoughts, drop a comment, drop something in the live chat, but always looking for input on potential things to stream. I want to stream 2 days a week when I get a chance here. Winters are, as mentioned in this interview, a little long here in Alaska. So trying to combat that seasonal affective disorder. Yeah. All right, everybody. I will see you next week on Sunday.